weird narrative in the community. And it's the fact that we're failing against China because we spent all the time and resources on counterterrorism, when no, the community did a really bad job in how they decided to compete with China. Right, in Africa, they made all these strange rules for all these countries to abide by, and the rules, those countries are like, I'm not going to follow this strictness when China and Russia don't make me, right? So we actually failed against China just in general, and we're still failing against China, but they're using the counterterrorism as the excuse, right?
Yeah,
And so
sort
then
of
no,
the poster child, so to speak, right? Or the
yeah,
being
that's why we
yeah,
didn't do good against China. And so
right.
now no one wants to touch counterterrorism because that's the narrative, and it's kind of the stink, if that makes sense. And
Yeah,
so it's a failed. It's just people not being honest that no, we failed at China because we failed at China.
yeah.
Because we also failed at counterterrorism. We failed at counter narcotics, right? We keep actually failing. And why don't we fix the fail? And so that's what I'm worried about. We're not fixing where we made mistakes. And against Russia and China, these mistakes become much bigger, right?
Yeah.
So we have to get this right. And we didn't even get terrorism right. Even before Kabul fell, the Taliban had more territory in 2000 than they did when we invaded in 2001. That's a problem if you're in a 20-year war and the enemy has more territory. And people have to start being honest about where we're failing. And a lot of these failures are policy. They're not a war fighter. It's you tied their hands and you didn't let them treat the Taliban like a terrorist group, for example. And we
Right.
keep doing this in multiple locations. Africa's been a disaster for
Hmm.
not just terrorism policy, but Russia and China, right? And South America, same for China. And we just keep not fixing our problems and blaming other things. And counterterrorism now has become the blame.
Yeah.